Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's practice is always about metaphorically looking towards the sunlight. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice coming to a tall mountain stand at the top end of the mat. Bring your hands to active prayer. Close your eyes and take your focus in. Begin to still your busy mind and make a conscious decision that for the next 45 minutes or so, you'll just be focusing on connecting to your body and your breath and putting all your other busy thoughts to bed. Take a big breath in for a slow count of 5. And then for a slow exhale of 5, begin to actively press into your palms. Then release the press for 5 as you inhale. Exhale for 5 to press. Keep playing with that breath and press pattern. Beginning to center your mind and your focus for today's practice. End on an active press and then flutter open your eyes and find a focal point on the space in front of you. Interlace your hands, palms looking in towards your chest. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, invert the hands and press them away. Inhale to bring your palms back towards your chest. Exhale to press away. Keep playing with that pattern, syncing your physical movement to your breath. End with the hands inverted and pressed away from your chest. Start to float them towards the sky. Keep still through your body and just move the arms like a little palm tree, side to side. Come to stillness in the middle and then start to trace a big circle on the ceiling with your hands. Keep moving in the same direction. Change direction. Then uninterlace the hands, drop them to your thighs. Give me a small bend, maybe a relaxed chair, pressing your bum back towards the back end of the mat, almost collapsing the frame of your body between the two shoulders. Start to give me a hollow back, taking your chin and your bum bones to the sky. Think of this as a cow frame. And then on an active exhale, tuck your tailbone and your chest towards one another, rounding out your back. Start to play dynamically with this modified cat-cow, alternating between a hollow back and a rounded back. Maybe finding a little ujjayi exhale as you round out. We're going to end in that rounded cat frame. Keep that contraction in the belly. Then keeping that softness in your knees. Just fold forward like a puppet that's just had its strings cut. Start to ragdoll sway side to side, keeping your belly button softly drawn into center. We're going to end off center to the left, holding on to the outside of the left leg anywhere that you can find purchase, extending the left leg and bending the right, holding that off center twist. Then ragdoll side to side again. End off center to the right, holding on to the outside of your straight right leg and bending left. Find your way back to the middle and step back into a plank line. Start to sway the weight forward into your wrists and back into your heels. Keep this motion going, and if you're feeling strong, add a single leg lift on the right and float your right leg at about hip height. Come to stillness, center aligned, bend your elbows, find your way down onto the belly for a one-legged cobra, keeping that right leg floating at about hip height and giving me a small chest lift off the mat. Then start to press up on your right hand, bend your floating back leg, twist to tap to the floor behind you, and then reshuffle the left elbow underneath you. Ground on the right foot, keep your hip on the floor, and just swing the right arm alongside your ear to take a delicious stretch through the right ribs and the right arm. If you're feeling strong, lift the left hips, off the floor. Hold. Ground your left hips, take your right hand and press the inseam of the right leg away. Then start to hug the right knee in towards your chest or your armpit. Stay here, hugging the knee in, or reach for the back of your thigh or the back of your calf, or maybe your foot or your big toe, and then see if you can extend the right leg without collapsing down into the mat, so you're pressing away through the bottom shoulder and keeping your rib cage up nice and high. Lead your way back onto the belly from here, extending the arms long and lengthened on the mat in front of you. Release your forehead to the mat and take a big breath in. On exhale, peel up into a soft chest lift, picking the height that resonates for you. Lock it in. Add a small double leg lift and then a double arm lift. Finding a bow-like frame or dropping your body line closer to the mat if your back is feeling tender. Stay here in your extended locust or find your way into full bow by bending one leg, reaching back for that ankle, replicating on the second side and thinking of floating the feet up higher towards the sky, resting the weight on your belly button and your two hip bones. Then press back from here into child pose, stacking the arms one on top of the other, resting your forehead on the back of your hands and passively stretching and reaching and grounding through your elbow points so that you feel a stretch from your hip bones along the outside of your rib cage, along the underside of your arms, all the way to the tips of your elbows. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. looking for lateral expansion through your ribs. When you're ready, lead your way from here back into your plank line, starting to lean forwards and backwards. If you're feeling strong, float the left leg at about hip height and keep playing with that releve lean. Come to stillness center aligned, chaturanga down. Keep your floating leg where it is as you lead your way into a one-legged cobra. Start to bend your floating back leg. Start to press up on the left arm. Find a slight rotation, tapping your left big toe to the floor behind you. Then reshuffle the right arm underneath you. Find your way onto the elbow. Keep your hip on the floor at first as you ground your left foot and just reach the left arm overhead. Add a hip lift if you can. Stretching through the entire left side of your body. Then reground your left hip to the floor. Take your left hand, press the inseam of the left leg away. Then start to hug the left knee in towards your chest or your armpit. Stay here or look for the back of your thigh or your calf or your foot or your big toe and extend that leg up for a beautiful stretch. Try not to collapse into the bottom shoulder. Then onto your belly for an extended locust stretch. Set up your frame first. When you're ready, breathe up into your chest lift, lock that height in. Once you've found it, add the legs, and then add the arms. Look for that soft, almost banana-like hollowing through your body. Stay or begin to transform yourself into full bow, bending your floating back legs, grasping the ankles and kicking the feet up and away from your bottom. Find your way into a stacked child pose from here. You can keep your legs in parallel, or you could opt for big toes together, knees wide. Press into your elbow points and passively stretch from your hip bones along the outside of your ribs, along the underside of your arms, all the way to the elbows. Find your way into a 4-point knee and frame on the mat, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, feet tracking directly behind your knees. Tuck the right hand behind your head, elbow at about shoulder height. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, dip the elbow and tap towards the inseam of your stabilizing arm. Then inhale to open up that elbow and float it towards the sky. Begin to play with that thoracic rotation, tapping for the inseam and then reaching for the sky and allowing your eyes to follow the movement of your elbow. Keep your navel softly drawn in. We're going to end elbow to sky, holding or opening up the entire right arm and reaching your fingertips for the sky. Take a big breath in into the right side of your ribs. And then on an active exhale, thread the needle, tucking underneath your left armpit, coming to rest on your right ear, with your hips stacked gently over your knees and your navel drawn in. Find your way from here into a 4-point kneel. Tuck your toes under. Let's find some down dog play. Plant your bum up to the sky, set up your basic down dog front, and then reach through on the oblique, opposite hand to leg. One tap or reach through on either side. Then bend the knees and tap them to the floor before repeating. One down dog, reach through on either side. One bare knee tap. Giving yourself maybe 5 to 6 repeats. We're going to end in the down dog frame. Hold it, trying to anchor through your whole foot as best you can and feel the beautiful stretch through the back chain of the legs, the arms into the spine. Then soften the right knee and pick up into a 3-legged dog. Come into a 1-legged knee draw plank and start to play. 1 3-legged dog, 1 knee up plank. You're going to use the knee up plank to step up into a low lunge, releasing your back knee, shin and foot, and bleeding up into a cactus frame through the arms. Thinking of almost finding a cow-like back line, almost squeezing the 2 shoulder blades together behind your back and opening up generously through your third eye, your throat center, your chest center, your belly center. Anyanya Asana, crescent lunge. Then release your fingertips to the mat and start to draw your hips back. Extending the front leg, peeling the toes off the mat, staying here in a high hamstring stretch, or sitting back bum to heel. You could place a block or a pillow on the inside of your back foot to support your seat. Then take a little bow. Thinking nose heavy towards your lead knee. You could even find a bind to your lead leg. Breathing into your lower back. Looking for a softness and a release there. Without forcing the stretch. Then sit up nice and tall, trying to keep your seat on the back foot. We're going to tuck into a little half lotus line here, back foot just up 2. Bend your knee, reach for the foot, tuck the heel in as close towards the inside of the opposite hip bone as you can, and then settle into your seat. If you find this frame too uncomfortable, just drop onto your left bum and come into easy sit, just stacking one leg in front of the other. So find the seat that works for you for some active Bastrika breath work. Release your hands to your thighs, close your eyes and take your focus inward. You're going to find a pumping inhale and exhale, shallow inhale and exhale through your nose, putte. Big breath in, putte. Nod your chin to your chest, hold your breath for 10. Then release the chin lock, close your left nostril and take a long exhale through the right. Give me 2 more rounds in your own time. Allow your breath to return to normal, opening your eyes and then easing your way from here back into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat, releasing the bridges of your feet into the mat. Once you've found the frame, take the left hand, tuck it behind your head, elbow wide, big breath in. On an exhale, start to drop the elbow, tapping for the inseam of your stabilizing arm, and then reach elbow to sky and begin to play with that thoracic rotation, keeping your navel drawn in towards your spine the whole time. We're going to end elbow to sky, holding or extending the entire left arm for the sky. Take a big breath in into the left side of your ribs, and then when you're ready, thread the needle, coming to rest on your left ear. Take a few breaths in Sukhi Randasana. Ease your way back to 4-point kneeling for some down dog play. Tuck your toes under, set up your down dog, and then do an oblique reach through, one on either side. Then raise your knees to the mat and repeat, shooting for roughly 5 to 6 repeats. We're going to end in the down dog stretch. Hold it. Then let's start to play on the left side, bending the left knee, kicking up into a 3-legged dog. Then think knee up plank and begin to move dynamically between the two frames. Use the knee up action to find a step through into a low lunge, coming into a cactus arm frame, opening up through your third eye, your throat, your chest, your belly. Then paint your hands to the floor. Start to bump your weight back, extending your front leg, looking for a high or a low hamstring stretch, adding a fold if you can. And then just pausing here for a bit on the stretch. And sitting up nice and tall, trying to maintain your seat on the back foot, start to tuck your left leg into the half lotus line or settle into easy sit. Find your seat, relax your hands to the tops of your thighs, close your eyes, take your focus inward for 3 rounds of Bhastrika breath. Find your pumping breath. Big inhale in. Apply your chin lock. Release the chin lock. Close your left nostril and exhale through the right. Repeat for 2 more rounds. Open your eyes gently and allow your breath to return to normal. Find your way from your current seat into an extended child pose stretch. Legs in parallel, feet stacking behind your knees. Press into your palms and stretch the whole line of your arms and maybe the sides of your ribs. Keep your navel drawn into center as you come to 4-point kneeling and bump the weight forward into your wrists, thinking high cobra line. Then begin to play slowly between the two frames. One press back and hold into extended child. One lean forward into a cobra, or you can think of this as a modified up dog. Strong through the shoulders, strong through your core center. End in that lean forward and just hold it for a few breaths. Strong arms, strong shoulders, strong belly center. Think long, graceful swan-like neck. From here, either find your way to a tall kneel or sit back, bum to heel. Float both hands overhead. Bend at the elbows to reach for the opposite shoulder blade. So left fingertips reach for the right shoulder blades and vice versa, keeping your chin line soft and relaxed. Allow for a neutral spine, but draw your navel in. Keep your chin and your jaw soft and relaxed. Then take your left fingertips, reach for the right elbow and tuck it into center. Then change hands, reaching right fingertips for left elbow. Your left fingertips are still grazing and reaching for your right shoulder blade. Ease your way from here back into child. Arms long length and on the mat. Then let's set up an alternating lizard line. Think 4-point kneel, take a step out on the right, angling the foot out and leaning forward, stretching into the hip flexors, the inner thigh, the groin on the right. Roast back into child. Then find the same lizard step up on the left, remembering to angle that foot and lean forward. Find your rhythm, work with your breath. Not rushing it. Breathing, stretching, looking for those tight spots once you've set up your lizard line. One child, one lizard. We're going to hold the next lizard step out on the right. Staying here with your arms long and lengthened, or seeing if you can drop down onto the elbows. You can do arms in parallel or you can do tripod. You could modify with a block or two underneath the arm line if you need it. If all is feeling good, maybe you can even bring the back knee off the floor, coming into a high lizard line. Then release back into extended child. And start to dynamically play with that alternating lizard step out. We're looking for roughly 2 sets before we hold on the left. One lizard, one press back into child. Tuning into your own innate rhythm. We're going to hold the next lizard step out on the left. Settling in once you've set up your frame, and then seeing if you can find a drop down onto the forearms, keeping them in parallel or interlacing. Maybe you can bring the back knee off the floor. As you release the back knee, shin and foot and find your way back into an extended arm line, we are going to start to walk that back foot or the lead leg back, stopping when we're in a half camel line with the left foot in line with the right knee. Take your right hand left hand, and pull the left knee open. Maybe you're coming into a gentle back bend supporting on the right. Or maybe you'd like to play with the bind, dropping the left arm down, trying to tuck between the two legs and bring the hands together behind your back in a bear grip. You can modify with a strap if the two hands don't quite meet one another. Back to extended child. Stretch into your palms. Find your lizard step up on the right. Pause. And then when you're ready, start to heel toe your right leg back. Setting up your half camel line. Using your right hand to pull the inner thigh open. Maybe coming into a supported back bend. Or maybe looking for an opportunity to bind between the two legs. Play where you're comfortable. Lead your way from here back into an extended child stretch. And while you're taking your stretch here, Think about how you can use your lizard step outlines to come into a deep or midway squat. When you're ready, step the legs out one at a time, stopping halfway and dropping down. Fingers to floor, using your elbows to open up the inseam of your legs, or maybe you're feeling more of a prayer line. You can play with the side to side sway if you're really tight before centering and holding. Then come into a straddle fold by squaring up your feet, keeping your knees bent if you need to, or straighten up your legs and fold forward, thinking crown to floor. Straighten up the back chain of your legs if you can, and maybe play with the weight placement, rocking back and forth between the balls and the heels of your feet. Seeing where you need to hold the weight to get the maximum stretch up the back chain of your legs. Inhaling and exhaling gently through your nose. Ease your way back into your deep squat or your midway squat. Settle in. Look for a focal point and center yourself. Hold forward one last time, straightening up your feet, squaring them up, finding your fold and holding. Looking for that inversion of the blood, allowing it to pool in your head. Experimenting with the weight placement in your feet to set up your maximum stretch. Back to your deep squat one last time. Pelvis and groin area should feel a lot more released. And you could place a block or two or even a pillow underneath your bum to support the low frame. We're going to find our way from Malasana into a butterfly toe hold. Take a seat on the mat, drawing the soles of your feet together, maybe taking your middle index finger and thumb, grabbing for the big toe, and then pulling the heels in towards your perineum. Sort of tug the toes softly up towards the sky and drop your knees towards the floor. So you're opening up the space between the big toe and the second toe. Keep your seat nice and tall. Try to maintain the hold that you have on your toes while extending one leg out in front and then the other. Coming into a toe lock forward fold, modifying with the strap if you need to. Hold, breathe. Back to your butterfly line. back to your toe hold, forward fold. Settle in, maybe closing your eyes, taking your focus inward, looking for a softening and a release into the lower back. Then sit up nice and tall, legs just inside of hip width distance apart with an active brace into your feet. Bring the hands to Jupiter Mudra. Interlace your fingers, index fingers together, cross at the thumbs. Extend your arms out in front, take a big breath in. On an exhale, start to hollow out your belly, round out your back, start to roll down. As soon as your lower back touches the mat, lift your legs off the mat, reaching through your toes and finding a hollow hold with your head and your shoulders and your legs off the mat and a soft, almost banana-like frame through the belly. Then melt your way into corpse pose, Shavasana, from here. If you need to release the back first, hug your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a little massaging east-west rock through the lower back before settling into your relaxed corpse pose with the legs and the arms softly splayed out. Settle the weight of your body into the mat. Close your eyes. Take your focus inward. And just start to center yourself by focusing on your breath. Not trying to actively control it, but just gentling and softening your inhale and your exhale. Start to melt from your toes, through your feet, line of the legs, all the way through the pelvis to the belly. Start to soften from your fingertips all the way through your arms, through the line of the shoulders and the collarbone. Then soften from your belly center all the way through the line of your trunk, your neck, your head. Start to just melt your skin, your flesh, your bones into the mat. Relax and dissolve yourself, creating a pocket of quiet and just being for a bit. Stay here, totally relaxed in corpse pose, or find your way into a fetal tuck, rolling onto the right side of your body, positioning the bottom arm so that you're lying comfortably, maybe holding on to your knees or just relaxing the top arm to the mat or your top thigh. Stay here with your body soft and relaxed. Bending here in your fetal tuck or pressing up to find a seat of your choice. Keep your eyes closed and your focus inward, whether you're in corpse pose, whether you're in your fetal tuck or a seat. Clear your mind and allow the next few words to really permeate and hit home. Just one small positive thought can be the catalyst in changing your entire day. Keep your face always forward towards the sunshine, and your shadows will fall behind you. With those thoughts, let's end off today's practice by bringing our hands together in front of our heart. Namaste to you. Thank you so much for being a little ray of sunshine with me today. Till next time, keep it light.